Three nameless men ride on horseback through a desolate desert. One of them is searching for a woman who ran off with another man, or possibly several. It isn't clear. What is clear is his anger. He follows her bloody footprints into a mysterious valley, driven more by wounded pride than reason. In the distance, they see white orbs drifting towards them. At first, the shapes seem almost beautiful, weightless, unreal. It is described as, quote, a vast, soft, ragged, filmy thing, a sheet gathered by the corners, an aerial jellyfish, as it were, but rolling over and over as it advanced, and trailing long, cobwebby threads and streamers that floated in its wake. Curiosity quickly turns to dread when the men realize what is nesting inside these floating forms: monster spiders. Arachnophobia is one of the most common fears in the world. According to the British Psychological Society, about 6% of the general population suffers from arachnophobia, though other studies suggest that number may be as high as 15%. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. They have 8 legs, already suspicious. They move in strange, unnatural ways, jumping, scuttling, freezing, then darting without warning. And they have too many eyes and not a single readable expression. And that is a reason, dear listeners, why they make good villains in horror. So what I described in the beginning comes from a passage from a 1903 short story called The Valley of the Spiders by H.G. Wells. You know the author H.G. Wells, the guy behind The War of the Worlds, The Invisible Man, The Time Machine, and The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Father.
Well, the Valley of the Spiders is one of the first mentions of monster spiders. They are creepy crawlies that love having humans on the menu, represent the collision of man versus nature, and want world domination. And let me be clear, monster spiders and real-life spiders are two different things. No, they are on two different planes. Real spiders are essential to our ecosystem, quietly maintaining the balance by controlling insect populations.
Yes, got it. Look at that. Did you see that?
Monster spiders, on the other hand, well, they live deep in our collective consciousness. They are Frankenstein creations stitched together from fear, exaggeration, and cultural anxiety. I want to explore the biology of monster spiders, what makes them so terrifying on screen, and whether there's any logical basis for being afraid of real spiders in the first place. After examining the history, context, and reoccurring tropes of the subgenre, I'll rank 10 monster spider films I use for this video based on their entertainment value and the effectiveness of the spiders themselves and how much they make my skin crawl. I love exploring horror films and sharing them with others, so that's what I'm doing here. Let me know if there are any other scary arachnid movie I should watch, because I'll definitely give it a go. Now, check behind your shoulder, check under your bed, check your sheets and pillows, and get comfortable as we venture into the creepy, crawly world of monster spiders. The fun thing about spiders is that they're everywhere. Literally, you cannot escape them. Okay, fine, except Antarctica. Everywhere else? Fair game. So, when our protagonists inevitably run into killer arachnids, there aren't many places to hide, unless you're planning to relocate to the iciest continent on Earth. That's unfortunate for our protagonists because they do not like spiders.
I hate spiders.
But they are going to have to face their fears if they want to save themselves and their loved ones. I mean, the film Arachnophobia is literally named after the main protagonist's fear. But in my opinion, it makes the heroes more compelling so you can see them overcome it. Anyways, back to the setting. Sometimes Monster spiders have made their homes in dense jungles around the world. The general from Arachnophobia, well, he's a spider that comes from an ancient species that ruled South America for centuries, long before humans arrived and began destroying every living thing around him. The jungle is a perfect cover. Thick foliage, limited visibility, and endless places to stalk prey. But they can be displaced, captured, transported, or accidentally released into a new, terrifying environment, suburban hell. They are an invasive species that wreaks havoc upon their residents because of the consequences of messing with nature that we really don't understand. Houses, basements, attics, garages, endless hiding spots, especially in dark apartments. There is this rundown apartment in France where the lights hardly work, but that doesn't stop the price of rent from rising. Caleb lives in this very dank apartment where he keeps his cute little pet spider, which was just recently trafficked from her faraway home. Well, it turns out that this pet spider is crazy. She escapes and thrives in the shadows of the apartment, her and her hundreds of offspring. People die extremely fast. So fast that the government shuts down the building and everyone inside. Every entrance is blocked, even if there are frightened residents begging to be let out. It's almost like the poor people inside are treated like the spiders themselves. Besides suburbia and jungles, where's their favorite place to roam and terrorize? Well, there's just something about the Arizona desert that they like. For miles, all you see are cacti dotting the landscape, with massive red rocks looming overhead. Just don't stand near any loose stones. Who knows if a large mutated tarantula might mistake you for a snack.
Whatever could have started it?
The Arizona desert also carries a darker, more toxic history, having been the casualty of the downwind of nuclear testing in Nevada, which makes for some good setup on how monster spiders came to be.
Let us face, without panic, the reality of our time. The fact that atom bombs may someday be dropped on our cities. And let us prepare for survival by understanding the weapon that threatens us.
Welcome to the atomic age of horror. With the threat of nuclear war looming on the horizon, atomic energy was both exciting and terrifying. But the consequences were grave. Radiation experiments by scientists in the military often created grotesque, oversized monstrosities. We had large man-eating ants roaming around, a man merging with a fly, and a 50-foot woman attacking the good people of America.
I can't shoot a lady!
But nothing that the American military can't solve. And monster spiders were no exception. Okay, so there's this mad scientist who has this laboratory hidden in the desert. Dr. Deemer, the mad scientist, well, he creates this revolutionary serum that acts like a super nutrient. Perfected, it could potentially solve world hunger, making food abundant and nutritious.
The world may not be able to produce enough food to feed all these people. Now perhaps you'll understand what an inexpensive nutrient will mean.
One of the ingredients for this superfood is radioactive material. Dr. Deemer tests his serum on a variety of creatures: mice, rabbits, hamsters, and a tarantula. If this is meant to help humanity, what could go wrong? Only that, 1, that's crazy. 2, he tested on animals. And 3, the test subjects just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger until it's out there just eating your cattle. This is the premise for the 1955 atomic age classic, Tarantula. Dr. Deemer is driven by scientific curiosity and ambition, but with dire consequences. But nothing that the American military can't solve.
Dropping napalm, follow an order.
And this isn't the only monster spider movie of this era. I'm not really including this on my list, but there is Earth versus the Spider in 1958, where a professor faces off against a giant tarantula that emerged from a cave. This era of horror is a cheesy good time, fantastical creatures embodying real fear. But when the 70s came around, monster spiders started to look a little more lifelike.
Suppose nature gave a war. and everybody came. The snakes, the birds, the lizards and frogs. And suppose that the polluters, the species on Earth called man, were the enemy in that war.
What if humanity's downfall wasn't caused by any nuclear testing, but by how we treated Mother Nature? She's had enough of us taking, and now she's ready to demote us from the top of the food chain. Eco-horror is a fascinating subgenre. Most films follow a similar formula. Environmental disruption or pollution drives animals to attack us. And it's always our fault. I'll get to the spiders, but to list a few examples, we had killer bees, killer frogs, killer piranhas, and large, ravenous bunnies. In Kingdom of the Spiders, the story kicks off when a local veterinarian is puzzled by the death of a prized cow, seemingly for no reason. Imagine Jaws, but with spiders in the Arizona desert. You get the stoic hero Captain Kirk himself and the mayor that wants to stick his head in the sand so the county fair or something can proceed.
With the county fair only 3 weeks away, this is mighty serious business, man.
Much to his dismay, a specialized scientist comes in to investigate the newly discovered corpse of the cow. It's basically if Richard Dreyfuss was a hot woman scientist.
You're kind of pretty for a girl.
Using pesticide, the local farmers have killed off all of the tarantula's natural prey, so they have no choice but to build an army and move into our territory for food. It makes sense that eco-horror blew up in the 70s because we made a lot of progress during that time in reducing our impact on the environment. We had our first Earth Day, created the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and passed some laws like the National Environmental Policy Act, Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, and the Endangered Species Act. So, yay, go 70s? Okay, so we had nuclear spiders and angry spiders. What's next? Well, they come from space.
For the first time in history, mankind has a natural enemy that's not of this world.
The 2000s, the last consequential era of monster spiders, gave us some of the cheesiest, schlockiest horror films imaginable. Okay, I'm not saying there haven't been other monster spider films in other decades, but this is the last one that feels distinct. The rise of the Sci-Fi Channel meant B-movie creature features were everywhere. Digital filmmaking made it cheap and easy to produce, and direct-to-video or cable premieres flourished, all dealing with alien threats and genetic experiments. And man, did monster spiders fit right in. Enter Marcy Eyre, a curious reporter with a taste for conspiracy. She becomes entangled in a top-secret NASA mission where spiders are taken into space, injected with alien DNA, and studied under conditions that can only go terribly wrong. One spider, aptly named Mother-in-Law, grows bigger and bigger until she's rampaging through the city like a hairy, 8-legged King Kong. So radiated spiders, alien spiders, whatever their origin, they all have one goal in mind: to conquer the world. And they do it with their toxic bites. In real life, spider venom comes in two main types. There's neurotoxic, which affects the nervous system, and cytotoxic, which damages your tissue cells. A real spider bite can cause fever, headaches, nausea, chest pain, or some form of allergic reaction. But what the biologists won't tell you is that there's a third type of venom, the one that matters most in monster spider movies. I like to call it obliterotoxic. That's the venom that obliterates your entire body. And that's what's so fun about monster spider movies, is that they use body horror to show the decaying of your flesh when it comes into contact with monster spiders. I've seen symptoms such as foaming at the mouth, body swelling, internal hemorrhaging, and pulsating skin. Your body oozes colors you didn't even know were possible. And it is so fast working. One bite and you will be dead in seconds. In Kingdom of the Spiders, One woman was so desperate to avoid a bite that she shot off her own finger. Also, for some reason, monster spiders grew some vocal cords. Here's some sound bites. This one is from a giant radiated tarantula. Oh, and this sound comes from an alien spider that likes to whistle when it's hungry. And my favorite soundbite is the slapstick sounds from freakish Arizona spiders. Real spiders don't actually make sounds, so if you see one that does, you should probably run.
Charlotte, spiders don't have vocal cords. This is not a spider.
I told you, this one's different.
But what monster spiders and real spiders have in common is weaving a web to trap their prey, making sure that escape is nearly impossible. Spider silk is made of protein, spun into these beautiful, intricate webs, despite the fact that it's basically an insect graveyard. While other insects have been known to create webbing, it's synonymous with spiders. Take Arachnid, for example. She was a talented weaver in ancient Greece, and she knew it. So much so that she bragged she was better than the goddess Athena herself. Athena, understandably unimpressed, challenged her to a weaving contest. When you're a mortal up against a war goddess, there's only one outcome. You lose. Athena cursed Arachne, transforming her into a spider doomed to weave forever. In ancient Egypt, the spider goddess Neith was a protector of women and weavers, associated with creation and life. In the Ojibwe legend, the spider woman protected children from harm. As people spread across the land and she could no longer watch over everyone, she wove webs, what we know as dream catchers, to trap bad dreams and evil thoughts. But we're talking about monster spiders here, and they are less benevolent. Monster spiders will cover entire areas with their webbing, sometimes even whole towns in thick, sinister silk. Once you're trapped, the web is so sticky, it practically rips your skin off when you struggle. All you can do is wait as the spider slowly descends. In Steen, the spider starts off as a cute little pet kept in a jar by a young girl. Her name is Charlotte. You get it?
I'm done for, Wilbur. In a while, I'll be dead.
Oh no!
What she doesn't know is that her pet is actually an evil alien that's eating and growing and preparing to kill. Steen's web is this sickly green, and it's so thick and just nasty looking. The only way you can get out of it is using mothballs to dissolve the web. It's basically Steen's kryptonite. Why? I don't know. When arachnids eat their food, they don't like the crunchy parts of the body. You know, the bones or whatnot. So what they do is liquefy their victims' insides.
There. The venom is paralyzing the victim. Tarantulas pre-digest their food by flooding the wound with a powerful solvent so that the flesh can be sucked into the body.
Yummy. They don't start off with humans though. So do yourself a favor and don't get attached to any animals in these movies. That was my mistake. Like, was Maggie necessary? Like, look at the face. As the spiders grow bigger, so does their prey. But animals are only the appetizer for the main course. Humans. So I want to talk about the gender of monster spiders. There's something inherently feminine about spiders in general. So all the myths that I touched on, Arachne, Neith, the Spider Woman, they all are weavers, which was predominantly seen as more of a woman's craft. So it's not that surprising that the majority of monster spiders are females. Consuela, the queen, is a mutated or weaver spider who commands her legion of 8-legged freaks. Her army of males act like a hive mind as they bring her little gifts all wrapped in webbing to present to her. Only then will she select her mate based on the best gift. Female choice is very underappreciated in the animal kingdom studies. This hive mind is compared to worker bees, and she's the queen bee. This is highly unusual for spiders and confounds the specialists because normally...
You see, that's typically seen in highly organized insect societies, bees, ants, but we've never seen it in spiders.
Spiders are solitary carnivores who engage in cannibalism if there are too many of them around. Not monster spiders. They just form a mini spider society. The exception to the queen bee is a general in Arachnophobia who is running the show. But he mates with a house spider to create his hybrid queen. Sounds kinky. The queen's goal is simple: lay as many eggs as possible. They appear as pulsating, ghoulish sacs. The characters have to scramble to find the nest before it hatches, because if it does, it's the end of mankind.
But eventually, she will create reproductive offspring of her own. And when that happens, this town is dead.
Alien spiders, however, prefer harder to reach nesting sites, like inside your body. They clearly took a page from the xenomorph playbook, and it leads to some of the most grotesque moments in the entire subgenre. In Spiders, mother-in-law literally bursts and he vomits uncontrollably. It's excessive, it's disgusting, it's great. This brings us to one of the more fascinating aspects of the female monster spider: motherhood. One of the most famous modern sculptures, Maman, is a towering 30-foot spider installed outside the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao. Created by French artist Louis Bourgeois, the sculpture was meant to embody the complexity of motherhood. A mother is resilient and protective, but also capable of inducing anxiety as much as comfort. Monster spiders take this idea to its most horrifying extreme. Female spiders want to reproduce and protect their eggs at all cost. In Itsy Bitsy, Mahakalatri, the Dark Mother, is an ancient Indian goddess once revered and worshipped. When her followers lose respect for her, she emerges from the cracks of the earth seeking revenge. To be appeased, she demands a blood sacrifice of a child. The film weaves this mythology into the story of a grieving mother who lost her son in a car accident. She desperately wants to protect her remaining children, while Mahakalatri wants to take her children. She is the dark reflection of motherhood, seen as more predatory and controlling. So how do you beat a monster spider? They seem completely indestructible, but there is a way to beat them: firepower, and a lot of it. You're going to need access to some truly unhinged weapons, like helicopters, bazookas,
Suck on this bitch.
dynamite, and some good old napalm.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Like, if you don't have access to this stuff, well, good luck. So, before we get into the rankings, I want to take a quick break from monster spiders and bring this back to the real world for a moment. Let's talk about the spiders themselves, the real stars of these movies. Would you believe that in Tarantula, they used a tarantula? Yep. Crazy. Tarantulas are the most commonly used arachnids in film, mostly because they're large, visually striking, and despite their reputation, fairly docile. In Kingdom of the Spiders, they use Mexican red-knee tarantulas and Arizona blonde tarantulas, which makes sense considering the setting. The spiders in Arachnophobia look absolutely horrifying, but they're actually completely harmless. They're called Avondale spiders and are from New Zealand. That's why the production team chose them.
And it was the winner of the Spider Olympics. It was able to walk across a thin wire, walk up glass, walk sideways, walk upside down. So it's able to do all these things better than other spiders, and it was easy to work with.
They control the spiders by using hair dryers. The spiders want to escape the heat, so they will instinctively follow the cooler air. It's not exactly like training a dog, but close enough. The general is portrayed by Big Bob, a Goliath bird-eater tarantula. Man, kinda gives away what they eat, huh? In Eight-Legged Freaks, the spiders may be enormous squealing monstrosities, but they're all based on real spiders. Orb weavers, spinning spiders, jumping spiders, Sydney funnel webs, garden spiders, and trapdoor spiders. So I want to circle back to Kingdom of the Spiders and their use of real arachnids, because there's something inherently icky about that film. The tarantulas are constantly being thrown around on screen, smushed, trampled, crushed underfoot, just all sorts of horrific abuse. The ironic part, apparently no one was bitten on set. Thankfully, public outcry over films like this helped lead to spiders being included under the American Humane Association guidelines. That meant productions could finally earn that coveted gold seal. No animals were harmed in the making of this film. Congratulations. A small win, but an important one. I didn't spend much time earlier on Kiss of the Tarantula, but I'm bringing it up now to highlight a point. The production team also used Mexican red-kneed tarantulas. This film follows Susan, a troubled young woman who befriends spiders and uses them to exact revenge on her enemies. What's interesting is that the spiders aren't actually doing the killing. They aren't biting, they aren't covering anyone in their sticky webs. They just crawl on people. And the victims panic so intensely, they die. No joke, one man seemingly has a heart attack. Another victim strangles himself with his own car door. Susan isn't weaponizing spider venom, she's weaponizing fear. She uses her enemies' arachnophobia against them, and that's what ultimately kills them. In the US, there are on average 3 to 6 deaths per year attributed to spider bites. And you're probably thinking, what about Australia? They've got some of the most venomous spiders on the planet. Yet, despite higher hospitalization rates, there hasn't been a recorded spider-related death in over 40 years. You know what the most dangerous animals to humans actually are? Mosquitoes. They cause between 700,000 to 1 million deaths every year. And you know what predates mosquitoes? Spiders. I'm not saying spiders can't hurt you, and I'm definitely not saying you should just pick one up and cuddle it. But as delicate yet ferocious predators, they deserve respect and caution, not blind panic. So after all the spiders we crushed, burned, eradicated, and blown up on screen, maybe the real question is, who should be more afraid, us or the spiders? As mentioned in the beginning of this video, I will rank them on their entertainment value and the effectiveness of the spiders themselves and how much they make my skin crawl. Starting with spiders that are so terrifying that their mere existence causes death.
No one can escape from the kiss of the tarantula.
Have you ever heard of the film Willard? It's this classic 70s horror film about an outsider boy named Willard who befriends rats, one of those rats being the infamous Ben. Willard sends a rat to kill anyone he doesn't like. Well, Kiss of the Tarantula is kind of similar, but with a woman instead of Willard and tarantulas instead of the rats. It's just not as effective because it's missing the charisma of Ben the Rat. What? He's creepy. And he got a sequel. And compared to other films on this list, these tarantulas are not that scary. They're just tarantulas. I mean, no offense to the arachnophobes out there. I mean, like, they don't kill people in gruesome ways. There's no plans to dominate the world. They're just, you know, doing their thing. And they aren't really used in creative ways in the climax. But the next spider does not disappoint. She's in the jungles with other large alien insects. Ugh. There is this mysterious disease spreading around in this South Pacific island that this ragtag group of people investigate. Well, okay, it's not exactly a disease, it's just alien DNA morphing with life in the jungle, so yeah. I think the scariest creature on this island are the ticks from hell. Remind me to never go to an island with alien ticks. Thank you very much. However, the B-movie nature of it feels a little generic, and maybe it's a me problem, but I was kind of confused on how the whole DNA thing worked. The number 8 spider only wants you to do a simple task: sacrifice babies. I have mixed emotions when it comes to this film. I love the use of motherhood. I kind of see Mahakalatri as Mother Nature because she created the world and sustained us. Instead of being grateful, we lose respect because we're taking from her and not giving anything back. This is only going to make her lash out in unsuspected ways. God damn, it's so depressing. Like, a little too depressing for a movie about a giant spider god who goes around trying to kill people in a suburban house. You know what I mean? Like, it's still cheesy.
I'm sorry.
Your kids deserve a better mother.
Oh my god. But thank God for the next film because it's so dumb, but genuinely lifts my spirits. It's about aliens and conspiracies and bazookas.
Spiders.
This was a good time. Super dumb, but definitely a good time. Why did these astronauts have to go to space to inject a spider with alien DNA? I don't know. Whatever happened to this alien couple? They're just gonna roam Earth for the rest of time? Who cares? It has that 2000 sci-fi channel charm that I just find so endearing, and I recommend checking it out. The next Arachnid doesn't need any alien DNA to become a monster. All it needs is some radiation. This film is so cheesy, but so perfect from its era. It's got mad scientists, large atomic beasts, and good old Uncle Sam coming to the rescue. Hell yeah. The characters are whatever.
I knew it would happen. Give women the vote and what do you get? Lady scientist.
It has amazing practical effects for its time as they enlarge the tarantula beast. The desert feels endless and the atmosphere is so eerie. Even though I use the color version, I do recommend the black and white because it gives it that added effect. At number 5, the Arizona desert becomes a kingdom for the monster spiders.
Kingdom of the spiders. The next victim could be you.
Somehow, I don't know how, but they made slow-moving real tarantulas that are obviously minding their own business terrifying. It is tonally a little strange. You get this funky rock song in the beginning and like a strange romance subplot and these random cheesy happy scenes, but it still has this dark undertone. Its message is bleak, which makes it a very effective eco-horror film of the 70s. Even though it's higher on the list, I don't recommend it because you're just watching these things get slaughtered for entertainment, so don't check it out. The next spiders on our list, well, they're downright freaks.
You eight-legged freaks!
Not gonna lie, I thought I would have ranked it higher. I was going into it with the mindset of, oh, it's definitely gonna be number 2 because I remember loving this as a kid. But damn nostalgia, it got me. It's still really fun. It harkens back to the creature feature films and really doesn't take itself seriously. I love that this film throws all of the spiders at the wall to see what sticks. They have great use of them and their behaviors, like the jumping spiders. I mean, they're jumping. And then there's the trapdoor spiders as they pick off the ostrich one by one. I normally don't like watching animals die on screen, even if it's fake, but that's funny. I know I chose the wrong genre to love, but here we are. But I have to say, for my number 2 and 3, they surprised me. They are genuinely great films, and I hope you give them a watch. The first one I'm going to talk about, my number 3, takes place in France in a grimy, dark apartment. It's kind of funny how I said Itsy Bitsy was too depressing for me when it's dealing with spiders. Well, this film is also terribly depressing. But I think it feels more tonally consistent. You root for the characters as they're trying to make it out of the apartment so they can survive. It uses the environment around them so effectively, and the fear that spiders can be anywhere is spine-tingling. There have been some other interpretations of this film besides police brutality, like the feeling of being quarantined during COVID-19. Anyways, Infested is rich in subtext. Go watch it. At number 2, it also takes place in an apartment, but this time, the monster spider is an alien. I had so much fun watching this. Each character is kind of strange in their own way. Like this guy who runs a morbid science lab in his apartment, or the grumpy old German lady. But Frank, the exterminator, steals the show.
That's your spider? Why didn't you get a fucking dog? Oh, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
I think Steen is grotesque and beautiful at the same time. She can mimic sound, which is kind of terrifying because that is how she lures the grumpy old German lady. She imitates her cat. I think this film handles a family dynamic really well. A stepfather is struggling to connect with his stepdaughter that he loves, but kind of feels insecure in his role. Again, Itsy Bitsy could have been like this, but why did it have to be so depressing? I love the intro of Steen landing on Earth and crawling through the dollhouse she broke through. It is foreshadowing events leading up to the end, where she grows relative to that size and taking over the living space. Now, for number 1, I am not being biased. Even though I knew I probably ranked this number 1, I still kept an open mind. However, I had no choice. This is obviously the quintessential monster spider movie for a reason.
Arachnophobia. 8 legs, 2 fangs, and an attitude.
Perk up, Lloyd. If we find the spider that did this, you can arrest him.
I mean, duh. It has the vibe of Jurassic Park while still taking place in a farmhouse. I don't know how they did that. They blend horror and comedy seamlessly. There's this poor doctor who gets a reputation of Dr. Death because the patients he sees die mysteriously. All of his patients' corpses have one thing in common. They have 2 little incision marks which look suspiciously like a spider. He knows that something is weird, but no one believes him. Well, except this one sweet lady that gives him a chance, but then she dies. What is so terrifying about this film is that the most mundane actions can put you in danger. Is there a spider in my shower, my shoe, my wine cellar, my football helmet? Well, I don't play football, but it's still scary. I mean, just the fact that it's nerve-wracking watching someone stick their hand in a bag of snacks just shows the effectiveness of this film. The characters are so endearing. They are the relatable people of a small town. But hands down, Delbert the exterminator steals the... Wait a minute. I guess I just have a soft spot for quirky exterminators.
In the barn, I saw a web. There is a web in the barn.
A web would indicate an arachnoid presence.
Arachnophobia is definitely the best monster spider film ever. And guess what? No arachnids were harmed in the making of this film. From radioactive tarantulas to mother spiders to the outsider invasion, spiders have taken on so many roles as our collective fears. But remember that monster spiders only exist in our imaginations. Real spiders are living beings that are essential for our environment as they prey on one of the deadliest animals on the planet, mosquitoes. So treat spiders like any other animal. You should leave them alone, and they should leave you alone too. Unless you see a 6-foot spider jumping towards you in the Arizona desert, then you should probably run. Have a sweet nightmare tonight.